I never get
I
invited.
haven't invited you on the podcast before.
No, I never get invited to anything.
Okay, you're live now, so no, yeah, I know. You just get to do cool South by Southwest with Sam Patterson, one of the coolest dudes out there.
I know, and Cicely
So
Day, it was
sorry.
amazing.
I don't know Cicely Day.
Oh, you need to go follow her.
Okay, no, I follow her. I follow her. All right. Here we go. Okay, we'll try and keep it. It's 5:38. We'll try and keep it at a half hour. This is what I always promise Brian, and it never goes that way.
Oh, I'm fine. Whatever you need.
You ready? I'm gonna rein you in. Can I be mean to you? Can I be like, Sarah, shut your mouth? Do you want to be mean to you?
You're usually mean to me, so it's fine.
I'm not usually mean to you. All right, ready? You got your drinks?
I'm
got
ready.
your coughing out of your system? Okay, John, edit
got
here.
My tissue.
Oh, you got your tissue? You have water?
I got my tissue. I got an issue, so I got some tissue.
You do have issues. Okay, John.
Oh, I know. Tell me about it.
John, edit here. Hello and welcome to the STEAM team. What are you doing today? It's John Samuelson up in Portland, Oregon. And I'm sick of waiting for Brian Briggs to come on the show. So we have recruited a much better co-host on this episode. And her name is?
Sarah Boucher from Las Vegas, Nevada.
Okay, she's going to say Las Vegas, Nevada. Also, where are you from?
I'm from Las Vegas. I currently live in New Mexico, but I'm moving back to Las Vegas, so we'll just say Las Vegas. That just makes it easier.
Yay for Sarah. Sarah, before our crowd asks, I was wondering for myself, how old are you?
28. I had to think
28.
about that. 28.
You have accomplished a lot for a 28-year-old person.
Well, like I have cool people, like you and Briggs, and, I mean, you guys just pushed me to do this stuff, So I just listen to you guys because you're grouchy old men, so it works.
No, it does work. Briggs is not grouchy, though. Scott Bedley is grouchy.
Oh, yeah, sorry. Scott Bedley's grouchy. Yes.
He's very grouchy. All right, so here, I'm going to give a little backstory. Okay. So when Sarah and I first met, how old were you when we first met? When we first met at the Starbucks on Maryland Parkway. You didn't think I remember that, but I do.
Yeah, it was across the way from UNLV, and
it was.
My parents always told me to never go meet up with people I meet on the internet, but I broke that rule, and I'm kind of okay with it.
I know it ended up being a good meeting, and you wouldn't even take like a free Frappuccino from me or anything.
I wouldn't. Well, I was afraid you were going to like poison it or something because
that was a definite possibility. I'm glad you're safe with that.
When your dad's a cop, you must do such things. I think that was my first year. I think that was my first full year. So I was 21, had just turned 22 that September.
You've done a lot of these. You've done a lot since I know you. You do all the Q stuff. Why don't you give us a little background of what you did for Q Nevada?
Oh my goodness. So I joined Q Nevada and I was a trainer. I wasn't a very good trainer. I don't know why they kept me on, but they loved it. It must be just my lovely personality. But so now I'm currently the Q Nevada secretary, and so my term actually ends this year. But besides that, I've presented at Q. I've done a lot of stuff for CCSD. I'm part of the Q Steampunk team. And CCSD is Clark County School District. That's our local school district here in Las Vegas, Nevada. But and probably when I come back, will continue to be like a mentor teacher, it's a mentor teacher. And there was something else. Like I do a bunch of trainings and stuff, teach new teachers. And that's basically all I've done my whole teaching. And I love it, along with all the technology stuff that I do with my kids, K through 5. And this year I'm in middle school, which is a lot harder.
Oh my goodness, middle school. I know.
It is like half the brains and double the hormones. And it reminds me of kindergartners. But they're a little bit easier to calm down, and they don't always pee their pants. So that's good. I like that.
That's good. I was in a high school last Friday, and that's way out of my comfort zone, like high school. And I was just helping with an engineering class a little bit with our resident teacher of the year, science teacher of the year extraordinaire, Bradford Hill. Bradford is a superstar teacher in Oregon, but it was fun. It was fun to help him out a little bit. We're going to do something. We're going to do a project where we're going to try and I introduced microbits and we did some SAM labs, and we were going to try and do some like interactive wearable clothing is our project for the upcoming, I don't know, for the rest of the couple months. So we're going to see what we can do with interactive clothing, maybe using microbits, maybe using SAM labs, maybe using a combination of both. Kind of an interesting project.
I bought a microbit, but I haven't used it.
We're going to actually, it's fun. We're going to do some, we're going to help out at I think it's a COSIN. I forget all the, there's so many acronyms of these conferences, but the cool part is in 2 days, so 2 days from when we're recording right now, I'm going to go to the Nike campus, and there's a guy, Derek, that works for SparkFun, and he's going to do he's going to mass do this training on microbits for about 150 people, and there's going to be students from one of our local middle schools that come and help out, and then I'm also a helper too.
No,
so that should be interesting.
Where's the facility? Assuming.
Yeah, I mean it's going to be. Yeah, it's just going to be at the, we have the Nike campus here in Beaverton, Oregon. So, yeah, we got some stuff going on.
You guys are bougie up there. Okay.
Yeah, I mean, it's just, I've never been, I've lived for about 2 years. I lived like a mile away from the Nike campus, but I've never really been on there. You can kind of like drive around it, but you can't really get on to. Very secretive.
What if you're like wearing Nikes, like,
they're okay with it if you wear Nike stuff. But I went to the store the other day, the store that that's like the company store or whatever, and we dropped serious cash there. We got like a pass for the educators. The educators get a pass to go to the employee store every once in a while, and holy cow, I went nuts. I shouldn't have gone there.
I don't wear a lot of Nike stuff, but I mean, if I get a free pass, any discount. I mean, not only am I an educator, but I'm a girl who likes to do some serious bargain shopping. So
there you go. I know it was cool. I don't know. We just got another one for my school. I was mooching off Tiger Tualatin's, but now we got one. So I don't know if I can afford to go back again. But I didn't get any shoes. I just got like apparel. I got apparel.
Oh, okay. That's fine.
I was getting I just walked in and saw the Air Jordan stuff, and then I was like,
Les, just suit me up. Let's go.
I was like, jump man. So anyway, I wanted to talk a little bit. So we don't really have a plan for this episode 8 of the STEAM team. Sarah's nice enough to come on, so we thank her. I know that she has extensive STEAM knowledge. And so what I was hoping that she would talk about a little bit is I want her to share right now a little bit about South by Southwest EDU, because I want to talk about conferences, and I have an idea for a conference, and Brian does too. But I'm going to run it. I haven't even told you about it. I'm just going to run it by you live on the air.
God, okay.
And then I want we'll get your true reaction. But anyway, tell us a little bit, because I've gone to many South by Southwest EDUs when I used to live in Austin, Texas, but I have not gone lately. So tell us a little bit about first of all, tell us about your presentation you did with Sam Patterson and
Cicely
right?
Day. Yeah, okay. Cicely Day. So Sam is in LA, and Sam's just like a wonderful genius. Like, I love working with Sam. He's just so inspiring and just has these crazy cool ideas. So Cicely, she works up in Oakland, and she too is California. She too is just an amazing educator. She has and so Sam had out into hacking, which is awesome, and he does a great job of it. And so we live in these different areas, in these different communities. Currently where I live is a smaller school district. I didn't get a lot of funding and things like that. Cicely got a grant, so she was able to get microbits and makeys. And then Sam works at this awesome school where he just kind of gets what he wants. He has a lot of money, and he's able to get what he wants. So we did a 2-hour session, which was a little long because we had to talk about like what we were doing and stuff. And unfortunately with toy hacking, you can't really bring a ton of, you can't bring all this stuff through security and pack it all. And so we really just wanted to share our stories about what we do in each of our classes. And so I thought that it went really well. It would have been awesome if we would have been able to, actually tear apart some stuff, but I mean, that just wasn't going to happen. So we shared our stories, and it was really great because Cicely talked about how she does a lunchtime stuff with her kids. And then she also does after school activities with her kids as well. And they use microbits and do like all of this cool stuff. And Sam has this stuff going on in his own classroom. And then I use Raspberry Pis in my robotics class because they were nice and cheap. And so we just kind of went through and talked about what we did. And Sam, you know, and I mean, we all really focused on, you know, failing forward and making sure that even if it sucks and it's not working, you keep trying. And if it's still not working, you just keep going. And it was just really great to present with both of them because I think it was great that we had all these different backgrounds. We weren't all the same types of teachers. You know, we had these different things. I'm doing it full time. Sam is doing it full time. And then Cicely is only doing it part time, but we're still doing all these, you know, like just wicked awesome stuff. Like it was just great. It was awesome. I was excited.
So then Cicely's up, and I don't know Cicely, but I do follow her on the Twitters. So is she a regular classroom teacher, and then she's doing those clubs on the side?
I want to remember I think she said she's a reading specialist. I'm sorry, Cicely. I can't remember exactly what the job title is.
Good
Only because I know that I just know that her, let me see. I think I think she works with like with reading data and things like that, but she does after school and on the side kind of this. It was funny. She called it like her, what'd she call it? Her side hustle. She's like, my side hustle. And you can tell she's really passionate about it. And I think if she got an opportunity to teach it full time, amazing.
I'm losing you. Hold on. Sorry.
Okay.
That's okay. I'm going to have to go through it. It seems like every time I do an episode now, I'm going to have to go through and like listen to it again and then like jump edit everything, which.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's her. So you said it was her side hustle. And then if she got a chance to do it full time, you think she would totally do it?
Oh, yeah, because she's just so amazing. Like she has all these great ideas. And we all talked about like using different types of programming, whether it's Scratch or, you know, using the microbit program and all of that stuff, or using Python or Arduinos or whatever it is you code. I haven't used Arduinos, but whatever you got to code on with there. But yeah, she does it like during lunch and after school. And I mean, I think it's so awesome that she's so passionate and loves her kids enough to, you know, do those types of after school stuff when that's not her main job. So it was great. It was really great. And
that's cool. And she's in Oakland, which has got to be. Oakland's not, I mean, we have Damian Lillard up here. He's from Oakland on our Portland Trailblazer basketball team. He's a tough guy.
Yeah.
Like people in Oakland, like they're like Marshawn Lynch. They're tough people. So that's what I think about when I think about Oakland. So that's got to be a challenging job. I would imagine anywhere you'd be in like Oakland area like that. I imagine it's good that she does that stuff. Then I'm sure she does have to do that stuff on the side. And if she wants to come up to Beaverton, I'll see what I can do to get her a full-time job.
Oh, yes.
She'd have to relocate though.
The way that she talks about, I mean, you would never notice if she like she is just so upbeat, so positive, 100% always happy. And, you know, it's all about the kids. And I think that's what makes her a good teacher. And I mean, we know Sam Patterson, right? Like he's great and amazing and does all these awesome, cool things. And, you know, I felt really, I don't know, just excited that Sam asked both Cicely and I to do it, just because, you know, like Sam is top notch. Sam does a lot of really cool things. He's really creative, and I'm not really so much in that creative realm like those two are. So I felt really honored that he even asked me. I was like, oh, me? Oh, thanks, man. I appreciate it. So it was a lot of fun.
That's good. Yeah. Thanks, Sam. I must have missed the email where you asked me to help you with the toy hacking. Thanks a lot, Sam.
John, when you grow your hair out, okay, like Cicely and I mean, when you just look as fabulous as we do, then we'll call you, okay?
Yeah, I think that he probably was like, he couldn't take the like oxygen tank that I would need for being an older person, right? So there's regulations on that stuff.
You know, he needed us as like arm candy. It's fine. It's fine.
Sam is a funny guy. And Sam, I mean, so wait a second. And I just saw this tweet the other day, and I can't believe this. You just got Sam's book the other day?
Yes,
is this true?
I know. Well, so it's been in my cart. Yes, it's been in my cart. Okay. I'm just a horrible person. All right. Like, I don't know what
Yes, you're
I
a
don't know what
horrible
else there is to tell
person.
you. Well, I'm not teaching primary anymore. And so like, I was like, oh yeah. And I put it in my cart, and it was one of those save for later things. And I was at the conference, and I'm like, what the heck? I never bought his book. And I'm like, where is it? And I'm like, I know I put it in my cart. And I went and looked, and it's like in one of the save for later with like 40 other things. I was like, oh, we're just going to buy that right now. So I have it now. Okay. I'm in the Cool
Okay.
Kids Club,
Okay.
and I got it now.
All right, so he autographed mine at Pi Academy when he came up there to kind of help out a little bit after Brian and I went up for breakfast with him, and I feel like I even got him down on the price a little bit. I feel like I only had like $16 or $15 or something. He's like, oh, okay, don't worry about it. He spotted me the extra $5, but I feel like I made him right. I'll have to go look at it. I feel like I made him right, like to my inspiration. iPad Sammy, like I had him do like a phony one.
Of course.
I like to get
Well,
phony ones. I have one. I have one from George Couros too, where it's very phony, but
Which, I
it's
mean,
great.
what else would he write though? I mean, really, let's be real.
Right. I feel like George Couros wrote something like that too. Like you're the.
Oh, okay.
I feel like also that. And this is a definite possibility. When Innovators Mindset 2 comes out, I said, where am I in this book? I had you on Techlandia for years or whatever. So when it does come out, he better put me as a little blurb or something in there.
Get
it together, Couros. So tell us about some of the other things that you saw while you were there then. What were some of the other good things that you were interested? Did you go to any of the movies that were at the Alamo Draft House at all? Because that was one of my fun times going to South by Southwest.
So I was only there for, I think I flew in on Tuesday, flew out on Thursday. So I was really only there for about a day. I did see, and I know this has nothing to do with anything we're talking about, but I don't care. I did see Ready Player One stuff, and I was totally stoked. And they had a building, and they made it look. Have you read Ready Player One?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so they made it look like the stacks. It was just amazing. And they use these vinyl things, and they put them on the walls instead of painting them. And I was like blown away. It was amazing. Let me see. What else did I see? I hung out with Sphero for a little bit, and because I went through like the vendor hall, but the vendor hall was, I don't know if I was in the right area or not, but it was the playground. So it was super small. They had hummingbird they had some hummingbirds.
Oh, they had hummingbird.
Going
did you run into my friend Katie Henry?
I didn't actually talk to anybody because every time I went by, there were a lot of people doing. I know.
That would have been good,
but
because we have her coming in next week for us again. Katie Henry's turned into a pretty good friend of mine with Hummingbird. I have my kid over here off to the side. It's pretty. I'm getting not bad at the Hummingbird stuff.
I haven't used Hummingbird yet, so
okay,
and like I'm way behind in all of this.
Okay.
Listen, John K. Down in New Mexico, I don't have all of these cool things. They just don't deliver down there. So, I mean, Walter White is taking care of that stuff. So we'll get it together. All right. I'll get it. Well, I have my microbit. You got to teach me how to use my microbit
This
first.
is my alpha kit from Sand Labs, by the way. As I'm holding that up, sorry, that's not good for the podcast people, as you can't see what I'm like antagonizing Sarah with. So that's cool. All right. So you didn't, South by Southwest is not a vendor event, not like a true conference like that.
Which was...
That's great, I think, sometimes,
Yeah. So then, I'm trying to think of what else.
When you tell me about Colleen Graves, because I'm a big Colleen Graves fan.
Following.
You are or not?
Well, I was already following her, like meet her and stuff, and then came to our session along with a lot of other people that came that were really awesome. But she did a session, and and it was a panel. It was called "Thriving Makerspaces in Low Income and Rural Schools," and it was Colleen Graves, it was Stephanie Chang, Paula Mitchell, and Aaron Vanderwerf. I might be saying that wrong. I'm sorry, Aaron. But they just really talked about, because it was they talked about the different things that they do and shared their just successes and their observations, the different ways that they're doing maker spaces. And I haven't gotten to see a like true maker space or experience one, but I've been super interested in doing that. So just a lot of, they talked about, the barriers, the things that are easy to do, and just typical, like, hey, this is what you should do, this is what you shouldn't do. And so it was really insightful to see that it can work even if you are in a low income. You don't need the 3D printers. You don't need, this and that. You need kids who want to make. And all telling us about her little boys who didn't want to make, like, was always struggling. Amazing job, and he was so excited. He made something looking for. He still that ownership of making, made him feel much more positive and all of that stuff. And that's probably total butcher of the story, and Colleen can tell it better, but it was really awesome just to hear. Yeah, sorry, Colleen. It was really awesome to hear all of these different experiences. And again, especially in low income and rural schools, because right now I'm in a, yeah, I know, right? Because I'm in a low income area, and we only have about 14, I think we have 13 to 14 schools in our area. So it's just nice to see that it is possible, and it doesn't have to cost an arm and a leg, because I think a lot of people go in and say, oh my gosh, a maker space, I have to have a 3D printer, I have to have a laser cutter, I have to have this. And, it's kind of like this, like when Sam and Cicely and I were talking about our sessions, at any stage you can do this toy hacking. And even though it may not be true toy hacking, you're getting a start, right? You're getting it started and you're getting it ready. And they did an awesome job of just sharing their experiences and how they do stuff. And then the only other session I went to was, again, another panel, because I was only there for like a day and a half, because by the time I got there on Tuesday, it was 6:00 at night. So I'd missed everything. Good job, Sarah. So the other panel that I went to was expanding maker education through community hubs. And that was with Lisa Brams, Mindy Porter, and Robert Pronovost. Did I say that right?
Pronovost, a big fan. Who's a big fan of Pronovost is Carl LS _.
Oh, yes.
He loves the Pronovost. He loves him some Pronovost.
Oh, well, he was very nice. And they did an awesome job of just sharing how they, and I wrote down all the information, but how they have these little hubs in the communities and how they're starting maker spaces and just doing, again, like amazing things. And really, those were two, I think, awesome sessions to go to, because it's been heavy on my mind. How can I make this kind of work? Whether I'm in Las Vegas or even at my own school, how can I give this information to other people who want to start it? And everybody kind of gave librarian, you're a nonprofit, you're, a teacher, you're this or that, like you can make it happen. And their session focused a lot on kind of the logistics of how where with Colleen and her team in their session talked a lot about how they do the things at their school. And then I felt like Roberts was kind of more like, here's really how we break it down when it comes down to logistics, like getting funding and things like that. And they did a really awesome job of sharing all that. So it was really fun. Yeah, it was really great just to meet a bunch of new people and hang out. And then, Sam and I went, I think it was Maker Ed. Oh, I got to go back and look it up. It was Maker Ed, but we went to this like little like meetup of a bunch of like people that were interested in making. And that was really fun, just to connect with more people who are in that field and in that realm. And the school we went to was really cool and just very, very open. And they had their own maker space, and it was this huge room, and it had like these, I don't know if it's glass or plastic walls, but like you could see into the rooms when the kids were making and stuff like that. And they just had all this stuff on the walls, but it wasn't like, here's a worksheet. It was things that the kids had made. And the only really creepy thing at that school was, we don't know how they did it, but they had, it looked like, I don't know, they had like duct taped themselves and like pulled it off is like what it was, but it was like a body cast, but it was like clear. So I don't know, I didn't touch it, I didn't want to break it or anything, but it was just like super creepy, because they're like kids doing all these like different figures and stuff, and it's just like, I don't know, like a cellophane wrapped child, and you're like, oh, okay. I mean, obviously it's, it was weird, but it was super cool, because I'm like, how did the kids make it? And then it got me thinking. Sam and I were talking down in the car, like, how did they do that? I don't know, let's figure it out. And so it's very thought provoking, but it was a really beautiful school. And I can't remember the name of the school. I think it was Magellan Institute or something like that, but it was amazing. So
it was in
really
Austin?
good. It was in Austin. Yeah. I can't remember what it was.
I've never heard of that, and I don't know that one. That's interesting.
I have really bad memory. I don't know why you signed me up to do this.
I don't know either. I don't. Well, you were willing to do it. I mean, Briggs. He just cancels on me all the time. At least you were like, you showed up for the first time.
Brigster. You know
He's
what?
such a
Briggs,
slacker.
he's just doing crazy stuff. I love the Briggs. You know
Okay,
what?
well, so go
Probably
ahead.
listening to Imagine Dragons, as he should be, because who doesn't want to?
Listen to Imagine Dragons. By the way, for our audience, Sarah is a flat-out stalker of Imagine Dragons. Not only does she like Imagine Dragons, but I feel like she stalks the lead singer because she's from Las Vegas, and Imagine Dragons are from Las Vegas too. So just so you know that,
Listen,
there are restraining orders out, I think. But I think they like her, so maybe they just kind of they think it's okay. But she like goes to like yoga at the same studio with the guy and stuff like that. You stalk them, don't you?
Listen.
Just admit it.
Listen. Okay?
It's very
just
cathartic to admit this on a podcast. See, there we go. Just a little bit. Okay.
I mean, it's slightly, okay? It's not even like a stalking. It's just an obsession. And they're very well aware. Like, I'm like, by the way, like, I follow you all around. It's fine. Your brother is my dentist. Well, so they came to my school. And so they did. I mean, because why wouldn't they? So when they came to my school afterwards, I mean, I had to go get my teeth cleaned. And so the dentist, Dr. Reynolds, who is just the best, and no joke, like, it's not because he's their brother. He legitimately is a really good dentist because, you know, my teeth are, you know, important, and he took very well care of them. And so anyways, so he was like, oh, so, yeah, I hear you had a surprise. And I was like, oh, you heard? And he's like, yeah, my brother sent out a text message to see if anybody knew who it was to make sure they weren't crazy. Don't worry, I said you weren't crazy. I was like, oh, well, thank you. I appreciate that. So I'm not that crazy.
Okay, that's good.
As for the Maker Ed meetup, I found it's the Magellan International School.
Okay, I'll look it up.
That's what it's called.
I've not heard.
And it was hosted by Maker. I think it was makered.org. Yeah, Maker Ed.
That's cool. Okay, so all right. So here I'm as we start to wrap it up here, I'm going to tell you now a little bit about my idea, and you're going to be put on the spot because this is a Brian Briggs and John Samuelson idea. So as we've done, Sarah knows that I used to also teach in Las Vegas, so that's one of the reasons that we connected, and I felt sorry for her knowing that she's in big old Clark County, and like in Clark County, basically, if you're a teacher there, after like 5 years, they like pretty much promote you to like principal or something like that, right? As witnessed by my friend David Friedman, who who just sits there and he just kind of existed for a while, and then all of a sudden he's a principal, right? He didn't even know how it happened. I think he got tricked into going to classes on the weekend somewhere, and then lo and behold, he's an administrator. So anyway, and I just joke Clark County, but so we were talking a little bit about the Q conference, which is coming up here, and it seems like everybody is like all crazed for the Q conference right now. Sarah and I went to our first Q conference together separately. We met there, and afterwards, like we planned it out with our good friends LS_Carl and Ms. Victoria Olson, who at the time were just like dating, but now they're expecting and married, and Canadian. They're both Canadians, and so anyway, it seems like such a long time ago. But so Sarah and I have been to the last 4 Q conferences in a row. We really enjoy it. So one of the things that we ended up doing was when we go to the Q conference, you kind of start to realize that really I'm just going to kind of talk to people and hang out with friends. And I'm not, the conference like sessions aren't as important to me, to be honest. It's like going out and talking about things like this. So our Brian and my kind of brainstorm is this, and everybody listening is completely invited, and it kind of goes with the whole maker thing going on. On the West Coast, Bay Area Maker Faire is going to be May 18th is when it starts. On a Friday, they have this thing. Okay. So what we've decided, Brian and I have decided, is instead of having a conference, Bay Area Maker Faire is an excellent thing to go to. It's the second largest, I think, besides New York for Maker Fairs, and New York, I think, has theirs in September. But we said, what if we could just talk a whole bunch of people into kind of like going and meeting up and maybe staying at the same hotel and
Uh-huh.
going to the Maker Faire, maybe
Uh-huh.
buying your little Raspberry Pi swag, buying your Sam Lab swag, and then we know somebody that kind of has like the an open maker space in the same area because it's in San Mateo, coincidentally, former
Oh,
home of Carl Lindenstreicher, right, that we were just talking about.
oh yes.
So, right, so anyway, it's a great. I went to Bay Area Maker Faire 2 years ago. It's awesome. And we were thinking, what if we just spent the Sunday just like kind of doing our own little hackathon, ed campy, informal meetup, but we all would like stay at the same hotel too. So we could go to the Maker Faire, you could do what you want, but at night, maybe we sit in like an embassy suite somewhere and we just kind of talk about stuff and just kind of have informal sessions, or we go out to eat or do this or whatever. So I feel like that's what we're really starting to do. And I feel like we've got some people that are interested. Sarah, we might even have a sponsor, like a
What?
corporate-ish sponsor to do this kind of thing.
Shut
And
the front
just,
door. And you're
yeah.
just now
So
telling me this? I got to get my plane
we,
ticket now. Like I have to go.
we're just deciding. We're just deciding it. And we figured that 3 months is a good amount of lead time. That's why I wanted to do the show with Brian Briggs, because we were going to talk about it. And then I was
Mm-hmm.
hoping we could share it at Q. So
Mm-hmm.
now what I'm going to have to do is take our horrible low bandwidth Google Hangouts. I think it's both of our problems. Perfect. It could be mine, Sarah. But well, I'll have to go in and edit this tonight. And I want to put this up because I really do want to invite people like to go to Bay Area Maker Faire, which is great. You're going to
Yes.
San Francisco in the first place, which is awesome. Maybe Cicely will be there because she's a teacher at
Oh,
Oakland.
yes.
And then we can invite her on over, and then we can just have a nice informal chat. Like there's no sessions you'd have to do. There's no slide decks. It's just people talking about stuff. And then maybe we decide to do a hackathon on, maybe we decide to hack some lessons and hack some lesson plans together with using the microbit or something, right?
I love it. I'll bring up my
possibilities
pies.
are
It'll be
endless.
great.
Right, we
This
can
is
bring
May
the
18th.
pies. Yeah,
May
so Bay
18th?
Area, it's that weekend of the 18th. So the real
To the-
Maker Faire starts
okay.
19th and 20th, and their tickets are
Okay.
on sale now. But the 18th,
Oh,
like Bill said, has kids coming in, and they do a little like educational preview on the 18th, which
Mhm.
Brian and I didn't go to last year, but we did meet up at Bay Area Maker Faire 2 years ago, just because we're like, and we bought a whole bunch of Raspberry Pi swag. Like we bought like a whole bunch of like Sense hats and stuff like that
Yeah.
we couldn't really get. So we're inviting people, if you'd like to do this informal meetup, where we're thinking that we might just pick a hotel that's kind of cheap. And we feel like if you stayed at that hotel, it would be kind of like a fun little convention that we would just decide out of the blue. The fee would be nothing. I mean, obviously, if you wanted to go to the Maker Faire, you could. If you didn't want to go to the Maker Faire, just hang out in San Francisco and wait for everybody to get back. I was like,
Yeah.
maybe we should go Saturday, buy our stuff, and then come back Sunday and try and do a thing. But we might even have like just like there's stuff in the area that we could maybe work around with a little bit. Yeah. So
Yeah.
that's my idea.
Oh,
Yeah.
I'm looking up flights right now. Like, no joke. Oh my gosh, they're expensive. But I love you guys. So I'll go anyways. I have lots of points. Somebody's just gonna have to pick me up from the airport. Okay, you guys pick me up. I will be there. No, I like that because
we could be by SFO. I mean, SFO is kind of on that way
Yes.
down to the SFO airport's kind of by San Mateo anyway. I think that's where my
It's
daughters
like-
and I stayed last time.
that's where. Well, when I stayed with Carl and Victoria a few times, and then my friends who used to live down in San Mateo, that's where I got picked up, was SFO. But
Yeah.
no, I'm just gonna book tickets now because this sounds awesome, and I think it's great because it's not, hey, we're gonna go meet at a conference and talk about teacher things. It's, hey, let's look at all these cool things that are somewhat within the realm of education, like the Maker Faire stuff, right? Like it totally
Mhm.
connects to education, but it's not so focused. And then what can we do with it in our classrooms? I like this idea, Sam.
Okay.
So who came up with it? Was it you? Was it you?
It is
Was it
me.
Briggs?
Brian and I just
Oh,
talked about it. Like I just said we talked about it on Vox for a little bit, and I just said, you know what would be a good starting place? We had toyed around with the idea of like renting a big house on the Oregon coast
Ooh.
and just having and like doing a little informal meetup there, which would still be cool too. But I feel like this is the first step, and really it's nothing original because I feel like Ryan was trying to do the backyard PD of
Yeah.
right. So I feel like it's just kind of an extension of that. So I'm not going to take credit for the idea. I just thought it would be cool to meet around Bay
No,
Area
I think-
Maker Faire because I think people might want to go there.
Yeah, no,
They
I think
should.
that would
It's
be
fun.
awesome. Yeah, well,
So-
and then we could even get, like if we're thinking about like different ideas and lessons and things like that, you're going to have kids there. Like, what would you like to use and how would you like to do this? And we can, get real feedback, because a lot of times at conferences, like you get the cream of the crop when you're talking about kids and stuff who are doing the panels and stuff like that. And, like they're giving great information and stuff, but to see what kids are really into and what they're making and what people are creating and making outside of education, I think that'd be cool. I like this.
Yeah. So that's all right. That's my idea. So I'm glad you like it. I feel like that's kind of a thing. And instead of going to, Briggs is definitely in. So, I mean, I'm definitely going to do it. And if Brian and I just stay if it's just Brian and I staying at the same hotel, I'm sure Bedley would be in too.
Bedley, yes.
And he can drive up, right? He doesn't even have to take a flight, but he could drive up if you want to.
Oh, yes. So I'll make him pick me up. Well then, yeah, because we can invite like a ton of people. I think this would be a lot of fun because
I'd love to have Sam there too. I know that Sam has to go home sometimes on the weekend, but
Sam will come make. Sam should come make. Sam, come make with us. He'll be fine.
I know. And then maybe next time he goes to South by Southwest, he'll bring the oxygen tank and let me go.
Yeah, there you go.
Instead of you, and then I'll replace you. Since I'm bitter at you for going. No, that's fun. That's fun. You know how that's really where I'm at though right now. You know how many conferences I've been to this year?
Mm-hmm.
0. Except I did go to. I was in Portland. I am going to go to ISTE though.
Okay. I'm going to ISTE.
ISTE's because I'm from Chicago. If ISTE was in Atlanta, no, I don't think I would go. Or San Antonio or wherever, Philadelphia. Yeah.
Well, I wanted to go because I love Q. I wanted to go to Q, but driving down and having to pay for all the flights wasn't the same. But with ISTE, I've never been to Chicago. And so I do miss Q. I'm really sad that I'm not at Q, but what can you do? You can't go to Q. So next year for sure. But I'm excited for ISTE, and now I'm excited for this Maker Faire thing. This is gonna be awesome.
So the Maker Faire thing, I feel like it'll be a thing. So we'll stay tuned. Maybe we'll start up a Voxer chat. We'll go all Sarah to teacher on it, and we'll start a Voxer chat, and we'll start adding people that want to do it, so we can start just. I feel like it's cool, right? Like we could bring down like little tchotchkes. I could bring down like a little Q robot or something. You could sit there and kind of look at their stuff, and we could just do a whole bunch of I don't know, just brainstorming. Sometimes it's just cool to brainstorm.
Well, and you know what? You know what made me feel really good at South by Southwest, because I like going to conferences for, sometimes for the sessions, but especially just the talking and the, chat with their teachers and realizing like sometimes with tech and with ed tech and all of that, the only person that you're doing it, and sometimes you're the only person in your district who really gives, a hoot about it, and it really sucks to be alone. And I know that we've talked about this because like that's how you and I got started. And I've always been the big tech person at my school, but it always really sucks to be alone. And when I go to conferences, I'm like, oh my God, I'm not the only nerd. This is amazing. And so I think if we can get a bunch of us nerds together, I think it would be great to get that inspiration. And especially hitting May, like we're done with school the week after that or 2 weeks after that. So kind of jumpstart, get ready for the summer, because I know that I get burnout going to a lot of conferences. So I think that this would be a little different because you're not paying to go to the conference. You can pay to go to the Maker Faire if you want, but if not, like really just hanging out with friends will be a good time.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Okay. Well, thanks. See, I'm good. I'm glad that's why I didn't tell you before we went on the air. I just want to see your honest opinion.
Yeah. No, I'm stoked about this because I just feel, I don't know. I feel worthy when I'm talking to other teachers and realizing that what I'm doing is valuable. So I think it'll be cool to bring a bunch of nerdy makers together and see what we do. Yeah, I'm totally about this life. This is awesome.
Ms. Geeky Teach, thank you for coming on the show and actually filling in very, very admirably for Brian Briggs, the boy genius. But he just can't, I'm sorry, he can't make an appointment, so we bumped him. He's kind of like, he's going to be like the Matt Damon of Jimmy Kimmel pretty soon. I'm just going to do the Jimmy Kimmel joke and just keep booting him off, and we'll see what happens. But thanks for coming on.
Well, of course. Well, thank you for having me. I'm very excited that I got to chit chat with you, and always feel very special to fill in for the Briggs. Though I cannot fill in such big shoes or glasses, I'm very happy to fill in for this one time.
Brian's got kind of small, he's got big shoes theoretically, but small shoes in real life, right? Because he's not. Yeah.
I mean, but it's Briggs.
And he's a Packers fan.
You know what, though? He makes up for it because He likes Imagine Dragons, and I love his family. So, I mean,
I know,
by the way, like I'm his like edu sister / daughter, like whatever he wants, it's fine. I'm just like, you know.
It's more like daughter. Let's be honest. He's old.
Yeah, I know. Well, I mean, I don't know if it's that or necessarily the maturity level that I have with him and his daughter, because I adore his daughter. His daughter is hilarious. She's adorable. I got to hang out with her at Redwood Rockstar, and she is a rockstar. I really enjoyed our time. So yeah, just a bunch of nerds. Well, yes, yeah. Thanks for having me. And
no problem.
Yeah, don't forget to go follow Cicely Day and all the other people.
That's right.
They're fabulous. Yeah, you got to hook up with Cicely Day. She's awesome.
I will. And don't forget to follow Ms. Geeky Teach on the Twitters as well. That's Sarah's alias.
All over the Twitter.
It's used to be on her license plate. Is it still on your license plate or no?
No, I have to get a new license plate because I'm
No, you gave it up.
No, I did.
Somebody go to Vegas right now and register their car with Ms. Geeky Teach before she gets back. You can, and then you can sell it to her for double the price.
If somebody takes that, just public thread.
Like squatting on a URL. It's like you're doing the URL squatting real quick. Anyway, all right. Well, thanks, Sarah. We appreciate you. We will catch you on the flip side.